Squad. Tuesday, Wednesday. Haunt Squad. Thursday, Friday. Haunt Squad. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. In a world filled with supernatural phenomena, three explorers of the unknown answer the real questions concerning the field of paranormal investigation. Vinny Gomez, Natalie Jane, and Mike Wolfer guide you to the depths of paranormal studies, creepy movies, games, and comics, and more from the world of horror and geek culture. Turn out the lights, turn on your EMF detector, and prepare yourself for the Haunt Squad podcast. Haunt Squad.
So wait. All right, so we're going to have to talk about these intros because they're just getting a little out of hand here. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Show number 4, if I'm not mistaken, right? Number 4. I'm Vinny.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Natalie Jane.
We are your hosts, taking you through the world of the paranormal, comics, horror, and anything else in geek culture. How is everybody today? Well, we finally got the soundboard, so I'm doing well. How about you guys?
I'm good.
Magnificent.
Magnificent. Ooh, that was fun. Well, let's see. When we got together just this morning,
Right.
we decided that we were going to come up with a few topics for the show, which is fantastic. So you guys are in for a big, big surprise. But before we get into any of the topics, why the Happy Days theme?
Just to mess with you, really. The last episode, I believe it was the last episode, you made reference to, I was talking about that I was just catching up on an old show that hadn't been on for years, and you were like, Happy Days on. I heard they did a spinoff, Laverne and Shirley. So I'm like, okay, all right, this is my way to get back at you. So watch what you say on this episode, because the next theme song, you wait.
Oh, soon you'll be you're probably going to go back to all the other 70s shows that we watched.
You don't know.
Oh, God. And how are you, Natalie?
I'm great.
Yes. And, by the way, I'm going to keep throwing this at you. More fans of Natalie.
Oh.
I know, she's turning red, guys.
Stop it.
She just crossed her legs angrily. Stop it. She's, Natalie, don't get red. So, first things first.
Yeah.
Avengers came out.
Yeah.
The 1st of May.
Yeah.
Did you guys see it?
We did.
Holy crap.
We did.
Wow. I saw it opening night, May 1st.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, dude. It was phenomenal.
Was it packed?
Not bad, but we had some ditzy blondes there, like sitting right next to my daughter, and my daughter is a blonde as well, so there were 3 of them. She's just like, and then these other 2 girls, all they kept doing were looking at their phones, and then a guy from the movie theater came in and sat next to them, and they all started talking, so it was just, it was hilarious. And then in the middle of the movie, they got up and left. So, and it's a 3D movie.
And they didn't come back.
No, which was fine with me. But I'm
whatever.
like, you guys spent all that money, and then you leave.
Huh. Whatever.
Yeah. But you know what? The movie was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even care.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with it. I don't know why they took Chris Evans out and recast Kevin James. I don't know why he was working in a mall. I don't know what. It had nothing to do with the Avengers.
What, Mike?
What?
Were you wearing your glasses?
No.
Okay. Natalie, did you see the same movie he saw?
I did not.
No.
we got
and we were sitting right next to one another.
No, I loved it. What do you guys think?
Oh, I thought it was great, Natalie.
It was a lot of fun.
No.
Like going in, once again, here goes Mike. The internet.
The intratubes
Is a bunch of crap. I try to stay away from spoilers and all that.
Yeah.
And you see, if you're on Facebook, you see in your newsfeed, like, everybody's got an opinion about everything. And, of course, that was a very popular topic over the last couple of weeks.
Of course.
Avengers. Okay. You can't help but see people's comments and all the complaining and all of that. So I'm like, oh, boy, what am I in for? I should have just totally ignored all of it. I'm like, what other people have to think doesn't really matter to me.
Right.
I have my own opinion, and I didn't let that taint me in any way walking in, but you can't help but have that in the back of your head, like, oh yeah, I heard about this, and I heard about that, and I heard about how, Joss Whedon's getting all this crap for the portrayal of the Black Widow, and,
Okay.
yeah, I know, you have a perplexed look on your face.
Okay. I didn't, when I read anything about Avengers, it was always positive. There was always something positive said. I didn't hear anything about the Black Widow situation, except for what Chris Evans and who was the guy who played Hawkeye? Jeremy, who I actually like. I think he's really cool.
Yeah.
They called her a slut or something like that. They were goofing around.
They were just goofing around. Yeah.
That was the only thing I heard. I thought Black Widow was portrayed fine to me. It's a movie version of the character. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I saw zero problems with anything. It was just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in
great.
agreement with that.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
And you just watched Civil War. No, not Civil War. Winter Soldier. Did you just watch Civil War? Wait a second.
I did.
Winter Soldier, and so it kind of ties in really well with how they work the movie out.
Yeah, every single one of the Marvel movies. I mean, I think certain. I don't even know why we're talking about. I don't know why I'm bringing up reviewers, because it doesn't matter. It's got nothing to do with what I actually want to talk about.
Stupid.
But every Marvel movie is, it's tied in with the previous one, and I think they're doing a great job of that continuity from movie to movie and keeping it consistent.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like a great sequel to Winter Soldier, yet it as a Avengers standalone movie.
It works.
It works as a sequel to Avengers.
Yeah.
Yet it also works as a standalone movie all on its own.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I didn't have a problem with it. And when I see people, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Sure.
And some people see a movie and they say, "Hey, it sucked," and I think, well, do you know what it takes to even put a movie together like that? You know how many thousands of people it took to coordinate, and all the contracts and all the agents and all of that work. Just the fact that it even got made, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's not the 1960s, like the Roger Corman era, where he could get 10 people together, they could take a trip to Puerto Rico and shoot 3 movies in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not that world anymore.
I personally, about the whole Marvel thing now, I like the fact that they're fitting everything together.
Yeah.
I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they actually, this episode that just aired this week ties into Age of Ultron, because there's a part where Nick Fury has one of the floating ships, and he goes, "I got this from a friend." Well, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson, who's alive, had the ship built.
Nice.
So they tied it all together.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, no spoilers, obviously.
No, this is going to, when
there was things that I was not expecting, in a good way.
Yeah, definitely.
The ending, not the after credits scene, but the very ending of the movie, which we're not going to reveal.
No.
The last scene, I didn't see that coming. I didn't think they were going to do that in that way. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of press right now about Civil War. Captain America 3. Mm-hmm. And it's out there that, well, there's going to be this big rift between Iron Man and Captain America.
Right.
And of course, everyone was speculating before Avengers 2 came out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to see that. They're going to have the falling out, and it's going to be, didn't see it.
No.
I mean, they had
they had
philosophical
a discussion, and it was all about Ultron, and Tony Stark's involvement in it.
But it's nice to see the groundwork being laid without it being heavy-handed.
Exactly. It was a really good movie, and as I said, I like the way Marvel is tying everything together. That's why I look forward to these movies all the time and these TV shows. You know, I just got done watching Daredevil, and they tie that in. It's a little Easter egg here and there in the episodes.
Oh, cool.
You see, you know, it showed the New York incident that was in Avengers. There's a news clipping of that going on.
Cool.
You know, so everything ties in, and supposedly Daredevil is involved in Infinity Wars. Now you got Spider-Man coming into the mix, and he's going to be involved in Civil War. So there's a lot going on.
You know, we at the Avengers movie that we just saw, they had a trailer for the Daredevil.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought it was cool that they slipped in there. You know, it was just a title, but it says The First Defender. Like, they're already planning on the Defenders series with Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And all. Yeah, so
it's a big deal. So and everything is supposed to fit in, and you know, I didn't want to. We talked about it earlier, and we kind of were opposed to bringing up the whole DC thing, but I just wanted to say this, and I think my reason for not being very happy with DC is the fact that they're not tying everything together. I watched Gotham.
In the movies. Now, what about the shows? Because I see a lot of crossover there between Arrow and Flash.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's great.
Yeah.
My problem is that apparently the Justice League movie that's coming out in like 2017 or something, they're looking for different actors to play those characters.
Yes.
So now...
Yeah, Natalie's... she's commented quite frequently. Like, I don't get it.
And the same thing with Gotham. You know, they've redone the characters in Gotham. They don't reflect anything. I don't know if the Nolan movies are supposed to be depicted in the Gotham movie, or if there's actually canon, or you know, the Batman situation with the new Batman Superman movie, is that they're linked to the Nolan movies or not? Okay, so what's the story with Batman? How did he? We know Superman's story because we saw the Man of Steel. Where did Batman come in? You know, where is he? That's the whole thing. So people are really critical of DC. I enjoy DC, actually. I'm a big Batman fan. I love Batman. But with all the reboots, I think people are tired of seeing reboots and not seeing a connection.
Is that what's going on?
I think.
Because I was always a Marvel zombie, which was a phrase that came from the 70s. And anybody that bought everything Marvel just because it had the Marvel logo on it, that was me. So I was a Marvel zombie, and I never read DC, so I don't understand. You know, and I asked this question on Facebook. Why is it that when Marvel puts out a press release and says, "Hey, we have, you know, Black Panther coming out in this year," people are like, "Yes!" And then DC says, "Hey, here's a picture of the Suicide Squad cast," and people are like, there's this wall that immediately goes up, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's tied in subconsciously just to the fact that the public is seeing, you know, DC's just a mess when they're putting their movies out. So now Suicide Squad, is that supposed to coincide with the universe that Batman and Superman are in, or is it coinciding with the universe that the Flash and Arrow are in? Oh, by the way, Supergirl's coming out on CBS. Is that going to be worked in with Batman and Superman, because they were talking about the possibility of having Superman make a guest? So now it's like, what the hell? All right, so Cavell is supposed to be on CBS. I think that's the reason why people are like, what the hell are they doing? So now you got this guy playing, you know, was it Sure Shot or with the Deadshot? You know, what the...
And what about Hawk Girl? It's supposed to be a Hawk Girl.
Yes. Wait, what?
You know,
Hawk Girl.
Shayera.
Yeah.
On what?
Arrow, or was it Flash?
I
don't remember if it was in the... I think it's on either Arrow or Flash. It's supposed to be on the TV show. It's not supposed to be in the movie. So now those characters are part of the Justice League. The Justice League movie that's coming out tentatively for 2017, I think. It's a long way off, but now are those people who are going to be those characters going to be in the movie? No. We're going to recast those with some new. All right, so is that going to? Are these backstories going to link up to that? People won't want to see that. We already know that the guy in Daredevil, he's already slated to be in Infinity Wars.
I saw that. Yeah.
So we know that
part of his contract is if we want to use you somewhere, use the character somewhere else, it's going to be you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we know that. We know that.
It's a nice payday.
Damn straight. I mean, he's in for it. So we know that the characters on TV, even the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're bringing in the Inhumans. And we know that in 2020, they're coming out with the movie Inhumans. And I'm aware that one of the characters in this, her name is Quake. Daisy.
Oh,
she's in the TV show.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep, she's in the TV show. She's Quake. She's going to be in the movie. It's already been. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, these people have long-term contracts to portray the characters that are in TV to go into the movies. Whereas DC, again, we're going to do Gotham. Let's rewrite the Penguin. Okay, great. So I think it's more when people see DC coming out with some sort of new thing, they get pissed off because they're like, all right, so now we have to rewire our brains because this story is not going to coincide with the Nolan story. And, so
maybe we should just wait until they come out.
Yeah.
And
don't get me
go in
wrong.
with no expectations and just watch it.
Yeah.
And just ignore the internet.
The internet. I'm definitely going to go see the Batman Superman thing because I've been wanting to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see how Ben Affleck does as Bruce Wayne. Affleck.
I'm wondering too, like that shot of the Batman armor thing where I'm taking it that this is sort of possibly like an adaptation of Dark Knight Returns.
Totally.
That's
the whole Superman is a god thing.
Yeah.
And they won't own up to it. But that's what I'm seeing. And then one said, well, no, it's not metal, it's lead, so that Superman can't see his identity.
Oh,
so I don't know
God
what it is.
God forbid Frank Miller gets another paycheck. So.
I heard that they're coming out with a part 3 to that now in the comics.
Yeah. I didn't read. I just saw the headline. But...
Another thing from the internet. So that's our comic book movie talk. I mean, what do you guys think? Why don't you leave us a comment on our Facebook page?
Yeah, sure.
Facebook /Haunt Squad or Facebook /HauntSquadPodcast.com. Either one, or Twitter at Haunt Squad. We'd be more than happy to, hear what you guys have to say.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, obviously we're like totally talking about the nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
And we've done that for about 3 episodes. And I was thinking,
what were you thinking, Mike?
We talk a lot of crap about, we're paranormal investigators.
Are we? I didn't know that.
We don't really do a lot of talking about that. I mean, the last episode we quite extensively talked about our investigation process.
Yes.
And the field itself. But it's time for us to, put up or shut up.
Oh, really?
And give you guys some evidence that we've collected.
Okay.
Some actual things for you guys to hear.
Well, you know what? I'm going to play the first one.
Okay.
We have some audio. And maybe we could play it a couple of times just to kind of get an idea of what it is.
Right.
And let's talk about it.
Okay. All right. So we, the 3 of us, have been on a lot of different investigations of businesses and private homes and public tours that we were on, where people buy tickets and come in, and we kind of usher them through these areas of Fort Delaware. Now, all of these clips came from a time when we were with Diamond State Ghost Investigators.
Right.
Now, this first clip was from a public tour of Fort Delaware, and we don't consider those official investigations. Or, when we were with the group, we didn't consider it official because you've got the public there. You know, you've got 70 people on the island,
and there's contamination all over the place.
Right.
So it's more just entertainment for the public than anything else.
Right. And as I've said on previous episodes, if you're there and you experience it, you know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we play these things for you guys, you can say, well, who knows? It could have been anybody making those noises or doing whatever. But we're saying we were there, and we can verify. Hopefully our reputations will speak for themselves. So this first clip was from Battery Torbert at Fort Delaware.
Really creepy location.
It's awesome. It's my favorite part of the fort.
Yeah, I had the opportunity of hanging out there with another investigator, and wow, I could see why you like it so much.
Yeah.
All right. Let me.
So, like a little setup here. There was one particular area of Battery Torbert where there is a cannon. It's not a real cannon. It's like fiberglass or something, like a prop.
Yeah.
There's a cannon, and there seems to be a lot of activity in that area. So I had probably about 12 people in my group, and we had walked away from the cannon. We had gone down the hallway, and you can hear us in the distance. But I left my audio recorder and a geophone, which is a vibration detector, on that cannon.
What does it do? The vibration detector. What does it do when it detects vibration?
It sounds like a car alarm.
Okay.
It just if there is some kind of like a bang on the surface that geophone is sitting on, it's going to set the thing off.
Okay.
So we had walked away, gone down the hallway. We were probably like 50 feet away from the thing, and there was nobody down there. So this is what we got.
Okay.
Okay, now that sound at the end that you hear 3 times sounds like a voice saying yes, and it happened just before the geophone went off. Now, at the beginning of it, I'm down the hallway and I say something like, "Are you still down there by the cannon?" And then you hear yes, and the geophone goes off.
Okay, let's listen to it again. I'm going to raise the volume up on a little bit too. Okay, let's see. Yeah. I even heard it after, right before you even did the amplification. I heard that too. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So this was just something that happened a lot. This wasn't an isolated incident. I had instructed whoever is in there, on many different investigations, explain the process.
Right.
Like, listen, we're here to talk to you, and we can't hear you. Usually we can't hear your voice. And if you're trying to get our attention, here's a way to do it. I have this little box. I've set it here on this cannon. Right. All you have to do is knock on that cannon, and it'll set the thing off. And we will know you're giving us some kind of an answer. If we can't hear your words, if we can't hear yes or no. Now, that what sounds like an answer sounds like yes. Is that really a voice?
Well, that's
I don't know.
Yeah.
Could it be somebody's foot scraping on something down the hall, and it just, our ears make us think that it's yes? I don't know. But it's undeniable that something hit that cannon in an isolated part of the room where there was nothing
there.
And no one. In fact, it's blocked off by sawhorses, so
I was going to put
people
that
can't even go back there.
Although I will say this, a little thing about that cannon. When I went in there, I didn't realize that the cannon was made like out of paper mache.
Yeah.
So I went over and moved it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I feel like a." And then this is nothing. And the person I was with, it just so happened to be a female, so I was like, I'm gonna go over here and move it, and Oh, it's paper mache.
Vinny.
Oh, me. But yeah, as far as the cannon itself is in a hallway, and then there's 2 rooms aside from it, I think.
Yes.
Okay, so and then they have it blocked off. The battery torbert itself is pretty much falling apart. It's made out of cement, completely out of cement. It's about 200 years old, and it's been unkept in a sense. So there's a lot of water, there's a lot of moisture,
right?
There's a lot of falling debris. So as you said, what hit it? Well, who knows?
Yeah.
And that's what we do as investigators. You know, we get something weird like that, and like, hey, what the hell was that? Okay, now if it was really good for us and they allowed us, we could go back and kind of do tests.
You know, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and try to debunk it that way.
Yeah.
Are we saying that this is indeed paranormal? I don't know.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I had many instances in Battery Torbert
Right.
when the geophone went off.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go off just for no reason at all.
Right.
It was always in direct response, it seemed, to a question that says that, you know, that's been asked.
Right.
Where are you? Can you show us where you are? Can you let us know that you're there? And the thing goes off. K2 meters, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times those things flash just because they're picking up radio signals or whatever. Or somebody's got a cell phone in their pocket, and you know, and you know, you see those things go off a lot. So if you're sitting there in the course of 5 minutes, it goes off 20 times. You can't say the one time that it flashed right after, coincidentally, after you asked a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't say, oh, well, yeah, that one time it was definitely clearly a response. Yeah, it went off 19 other times.
Yeah, to nothing.
To nothing.
Exactly.
Right. So in Battery Torbert, every time that thing goes off, for me, it was always right after a direct question. So I don't know. I mean, there was another really exciting instance. We had some representatives from the state of Delaware who were on a tour, and we wanted to make sure that they had a great time, and not, you know, we weren't putting on a show for them, but we wanted to make sure that everything ran smoothly and that they realized the work that we were doing out there, and they could see how important it was and how exciting it is.
Right.
So they were with a group of probably about 10 people, and like 3 or 4 of the people in that group were unruly.
Do we have that?
I've been looking for it. I've got that somewhere.
Okay.
But the people in the group were being loud and obnoxious, and they were probably drunk or something. And they're like jumping out at each other and screaming, and you know, and then they would scream in response. And like, you guys, come on, man! People spent money to go on this thing.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, they've got, you know, there's these 2 state representatives in their group, and we're like, oh no. So before their group got to Battery Torbert, that's where I was stationed that night. I knew they were coming, and I was all by myself in Battery Torbert, and I had a little talk with whoever or whatever was in there. And I had the recording of me talking, and I'm going, okay, look, listen, I know you're here, you know, and I'm trying to be respectful, and I'm trying to find a way to communicate with you, and I don't think this is a joke, but there's a group of people coming in here who are acting like this is just a big party, and I think it's disrespectful to you, you know, and there's some very important people in that group who are going to help to restore this fort. They're going to help us to continue doing what we do, and that's so that we can rebuild this thing so that the ceiling doesn't keep leaking and that, you know, you don't have puddles of water in here. We're going to fix this place up as long as these 2 guys are happy. So what I want you to do is do something, anything that's very spectacular, that really gets their attention.
Right.
Left it at that. So later on, the group comes in, and the people are, you know, the troublemakers are being troublemakers, and I'm getting frustrated, And I say, you hear me say on the recording, I'm like, you can hear me getting frustrated. And it's about time for them to leave, and nothing had happened the whole time.
Right.
And, you know, I'm looking at the state guys, and I'm thinking they're going, God, this is boring. Yeah, I should have stayed home and watched something else, you know. So last ditch effort, we go down by the cannon with the geophone, and I say out loud, you know, I'm like, you and I had a talk. You remember what we talked about before this group came in here? I want you to do what I asked now, and you know why it needs to be done.
Right.
Boom! The geophone goes off on the cannon.
Was that the one where everybody
awesome.
Was screaming and everything else?
That was some. You're thinking of a different one, but you know, I mean, for 25 minutes the thing had not gone off.
Right.
And I say, hit that cannon right now, basically. And something hits the cannon and sets the thing off.
That's wild.
Of course, everybody's thinking, oh my gosh, Mike Wolfer is the greatest guy because he can talk to ghosts. No, maybe I'm just compassionate or something. Maybe I just had a good, you know, communication with whatever's in there. I don't know.
Or maybe it's just coincidence that you came out and said,
maybe
make it happen, and then it happened.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe it was moisture in the air that made the thing go off.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, we have another piece of audio.
Yeah, and the setup for this one is from the Balladary Inn in Gettysburg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Famous historic house. It served as a battlefield hospital for a while.
Right.
So yeah, this was in an upstairs room, and everybody was downstairs or out of the building, and I left my recorder in one of the bedrooms.
Right.
Just to see if there was any noise in that room while everybody was gone. So, and this is what we got.
Okay.
You can hear voices downstairs, by the way. Right?
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
So. All right.
No one in the room. Something makes a loud knocking noise in the room. Nobody upstairs.
Sounds like something on wood, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I investigated.
Yeah.
I started looking around.
Yeah.
What could have made that noise? And I found out what it was. There was an ice chest in the room.
Yeah.
That had a big chunk of ice cubes that were all melted together inside the ice chest.
Right.
They were melting. And one of the ice cubes detached from the chunk and just fell inside the chest. So and that's what it was, because later on the same thing happened again, and oh, that's what that noise was. Clunk.
So no, all right, here's the noise. Here's the clip again, just so you get it, okay? And this is upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just simply wild. So it wound up just being a piece of ice.
Yep.
Now, if anybody else had come in and seen or heard that, they would just, oh my God, somebody knocked on the.
Yeah.
Now, were there reports of knocking in that room?
There were all kinds of reports of all kinds of things all throughout the place,
and nothing else was found but that noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Although something did happen. I'm not sure if it was that night or the following night. I was actually staying in that room.
Right.
And it was around 2 or 2:30 in the morning. Everybody had gone to bed. I was still up listening, waiting. And I heard clearly someone or something walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Old wooden stairs right outside of my doorway, which was at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
You could clearly hear creak, creak, creak.
Weird.
Creak coming up the stairs.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting. I'm just sitting there waiting. What's going to happen? Then I start hearing this high-pitched noise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what the heck is that? And I started thinking, you know what? It's probably mice. It's probably mice
the place is probably
rats in the walls.
Pretty old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, we had all heard those noises earlier, and found out, oh, wait, if you listen closely, you can hear them, like, run away, after
The
after
little
scratching.
buggers.
Yeah.
Get a cat.
Curiosity got the best of me, of course. I had to see, though, what was that making the noise on the stairs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I got up because I had to look out. I had to open that door.
Yeah.
So I reached for the handle, and I turned the door handle, and it goes...
Come on.
Dude, it was the door handle. It was the door handle moving. Something was fiddling with the door handle after walking up to the top of the stairs. Scared the heck out of me.
Really? So now you're staring at that door handle the whole night?
Yeah.
I didn't sleep at all. Why? The door handle kept moving.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Cool stuff.
And you weren't recording.
Of course not.
And you didn't see the door handle move because it was dark.
Of course.
Oh, God.
And you didn't see it because you didn't have your glasses on.
Hey!
Oh.
Come on, the old guy jokes.
All right, and then we have one more piece.
This is you, Natalie.
Meow.
That was Delaware Bay Trading Company.
Yes.
Yeah. This is when you were breaking down. we were breaking down. It was just the three of us. It was
yes.
Natalie, Vinny, and I.
That was the night Haunt Squad was conceived. Wait, no. Hold on a second.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were breaking down
Right.
the equipment. Investigation was over. Lights were on, and Natalie was in the like coffee shop area
Right.
of Delaware Bay Trading Company.
Okay.
She was in there, like, I don't know, folding up tripods or something like that. Mm-hmm. But we kept our recorders going.
Yeah.
Because you never know. You never know.
You never know what you're going to catch.
So here's what we got.
Ooh.
Don't sing.
Wow, I heard that without the amplification.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right, let's listen to it one more time. Hold on.
Yeah.
That was so clear.
It's like a guy. It's like a male voice.
Wow. Now, were we actually like singing or anything like that, or were we humming?
No, we were asking someone to sing because Mike he was hearing music. So musics. he was hearing the musics. He was hearing
those
music
musics
and
things.
humming.
We're hearing many musics.
So we were asking, say, can you sing a tune for us? Can you sing a song for us?
Yeah.
And Mike was getting responses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's creepy.
earlier on. That was the same night that you were in the basement and I was on the first
right.
floor.
Yeah.
And you were whispering down there and said, "Hey, listen, can you go upstairs and like sing something?" And then right after that, I'm upstairs and I go, "Hey, did somebody sing?" Because I heard singing.
I wish we had that on recording. Hearing you go, "Hey, somebody's singing."
I've got it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And it also happened the night with the bats. We had the bats.
The
Oh, that's right.
bats.
Oh.
And I said, "Could you sing us a tune?" And then 5 seconds later, Mike saying, "Did somebody sing? Did anybody hear that?" Oh my God.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. All
Yep.
of them
Happened
coordinated
twice.
together.
Yep.
That's right.
It's almost like a Marvel movie. It all comes together.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, guys. So wow, that's really wild. The voice sounded very to me. It sounded kind of menacing. Don't sing.
Yeah, and that wasn't the only voice that we caught there. We caught some other things we'll play on an upcoming episode.
Holy cow! Well, stay tuned, guys.
Yeah.
See, you got to keep downloading the Haunt Squad podcast so you can hear this stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm completely amazed. So if anybody has any questions about that, please, again, visit our Facebook site, Facebook at Haunt Squad, or Facebook at Haunt Squad Podcast, and both end in .com, of course. Friend us up, like us, and just submit questions. We're more than happy to answer them. That's something else that we have. We're going to be doing a new segment, and
this is actually in response to a request of ours. We want you guys involved, and so far we've had great interaction with you on Twitter and Facebook.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm amazed at the response that we're actually getting from Facebook, Twitter. My personal Facebook is blowing up with people overseas. Actually, I'm friends with a lot of people overseas. I game a lot, and a lot of the people I game with are in Germany and England, and because they're friends with me, they decide to listen.
Right.
And wow, nothing but positive comments. They've never heard anything like this. So, but we have this new segment. Here we go.
Question everything.
I can't help myself.
He can't.
All right, Mike, that's a hit.
You bet your sweet Bippy.
Well, I'm going to use that. I'm going to put that on a ringtone just for the hell of it.
Yes, question everything. That was a catchphrase that you coined. Question everything. And
question everything.
It applies to this segment that we want to. You're crying, Vinny. I
can't stop. It's hilarious. All right.
This applies to this new segment, and this
awesome.
is totally devoted to questions that you guys, listeners, send in to us, and we'll field anything. It doesn't even have to be about the paranormal. It can be about anything at all.
Yeah, exactly. Why is the sky blue? Well, we'll find that out.
Do you like cats? Whatever.
Do you like it? Did you hear that? Did you? I heard something.
Yeah.
So, what's our first question?
Oh my God, I get to talk. All right. Our first question is from Rudo to the Bone in Brownsville, Texas. His question is, what is the scariest encounter each of you guys have experienced? Let's go with Vinny.
Scariest encounter, huh? I'll be honest with you. I think I told this on the first episode, the Battery Torbert situation, where it was me and one of the other investigators were in the dark waiting for another group to come, and we decided to do a EVP session. And while we're there, we're asking questions, and we heard boot steps down the hall, and it was getting closer, and then we heard mumbling and talking, and it was getting closer and closer to the point we're staying in the dark. I grabbed my fellow investigator's arm, and she's like, "I got to turn the light on. I got to see if there's something down there." And she turned. I was ready to run out. I was going to do a dude run and just I held her onto. I was like, "All right, go ahead, do it." She turns on the light. All sound stopped. It was dead quiet,
and there's nobody there.
Nobody there at all.
That makes it worse, doesn't it?
So
it's like
that
if there's a fort guide standing there or something, then you can.
Okay. I would have still screamed and ran out and run, but that scared the hell out of me. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Scared the dickens out of me.
Yeah. What about you, Natalie?
Me. Okay. In all honesty, I can't say that I've ever experienced anything scary. If anything, it's more of excitement. But I was startled once. There was this one time where Mike and I were watching the monitors during an investigation, and all of a sudden we heard footsteps coming toward us down the hallway.
I was gonna do that one.
You could do it too.
All right, go ahead.
You can share it. So we heard footsteps coming toward us down the hallway, and Mike just like out of nowhere just goes, "Do you hear that?" And I just totally reacted to him, and I go, "Yeah." It doesn't even sound like me. I sound like such an idiot. And I grabbed a hold of his arm so tight, I think he had fingerprints left on him. But it was just really exciting. So as of now, that's it. But I hope to experience, more.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Because we, I mean, obviously we didn't expect it. We're just sitting there focusing on the monitors, and then we hear walking, and there was everybody else on the investigation was downstairs. We're the only ones upstairs
on the main floor.
Yeah. Wow. And we're like, there's footsteps coming down the hall. I didn't even realize she was grabbing me because I was kind of,
you were numb. You were like,
I was focused. What it was.
Focused. Okay.
And the fact that it was like 3 feet away from us too.
Wow.
Like it wasn't like at the fort where you're, in the Endicott and it's like 100 feet away.
Yeah.
This was right there. And of course, Natalie's like, well, aren't you going to go see?
Aren't you going to go see?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess I am.
We're just sitting there waiting, and we're like, yeah, we might want to get up and look,
Go, Mike. She's pushing him out of the seat. Go. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
See, I'll be honest with you. I thought the scariest time with you was when you and I were in the fort and Andy came and scared us.
Oh.
And I did my karate chop, and you went,
Yes.
you got scared and then went, oh, Andy! And
okay, that would be the scariest of the non-paranormal kind, I guess. Yeah.
Andy!
Well, it's funny you mentioned the fort because my scariest story took place at Fort Delaware, and there's like public bathrooms outside of the fort.
Yeah.
And there was a spider in the men's room.
And went, boo.
They have wolf spiders out there. Crazy
Those are some
spiders.
big spiders, actually. Oh, my God.
Now, actually, I think I was going to use that one because that was pretty scary. Natalie, your story. Mine would be from the same investigation. Mm-hmm. This was of a private residence in Delaware City. I don't remember where it fell, if it was before the footsteps or after or whatever, but Natalie and I were at the base station. We were watching the monitors in the kitchen on the first floor. Everyone else, including the owners, were in the basement. There was probably 3 other investigators.
Yes.
So there was about 5 of them all downstairs in the basement.
Right.
We had our recorders going. They had their recorders going. And we're listening to them talking downstairs, and we were sitting there quietly because we're not going to contaminate the environment by us sitting up there going, hey, can you
want me the cheese and crackers?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have some one of those donut holes,
I've been tempted to grab some of those chips that are sitting on the...
Me too. He's got his awesome Chex Mix sitting there.
So anyhow,
Hurry up.
getting back to my awesome story. Then some stuff happened in junk, and then it was scary.
It was
And
over.
we ate food.
And then we ate. Yeah, back to food. So anyhow, so Natalie and I are being like super quiet, and everybody else in the basement, they're asking questions, and then it gets quiet, and somebody from downstairs says, Mike? And I'm like, are they calling me? And I'm like talking to Natalie next to me. And we're listening again to see, did they say Mike? And then you hear him again say, hey, Mike. And I go, what? And then they all freak out. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? What they had heard in the basement, from the back corner of the basement, they heard my voice say, what? And then it was Andy.
It was Andy.
Andy says, hey, Mike. And then Natalie and I go, did he come? Mm-hmm. And then he says, hey, Mike. And I say, what? So something mimicked my voice in the basement about 30 seconds before I actually spoke that word. With the same inflection, the same tone.
Creepy. So you have a doppelganger now.
What the heck was that?
It's mimicking you.
You know what's really funny? That happened on an investigation here.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
You were
yeah,
coming.
yeah.
You were upstairs.
Yeah.
And we heard you say something, and then I think it was Kim who said, "Mike, what did you say?"
Right.
And then you came downstairs and said, "I didn't say anything." What?
Yeah.
And it was the same thing you had said. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Weird stuff. Wow. And we didn't catch the audio on that. We only
Right.
caught you saying it as you were coming downstairs.
Right.
We didn't catch it initially because we all looked. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's weird.
It's like a time loop. Oh,
You know
boy.
what? Here we go. All
Yes.
right. Let's call the scientists in and see if we can find out if Mike is an alien.
He's from the future.
Yeah, he. Why is he always dressed in that the aluminum foil type suit, and he walks around? It's got some sort of like starship insignia on it.
It's like a disco ball.
Yeah. Every time he drives his car, he has a big helmet, like looks like a fishbowl.
Oh, just reminds me of a movie we need to watch, Robot Monster.
No.
The
You
gorilla with the fish
and
fishbowl
those
on his
B
head.
movies.
Oh,
I'll never understand. I'll never get it.
Yeah. So that was my scary
Wow.
thing.
Oh yeah, we still have 2 more questions.
Yes,
we
okay,
do.
so moving along.
Okay.
All right, our next question is from Gilbert Rodriguez in Queens, New York.
Ooh.
His question is, are any of you 3 currently reading Hoax Hunters? I think it's a great take on the paranormal genre, and it's kind of related to what you are all doing. Going to do any hoax hunting or myth busting yourselves? And just a little background. Hoax Hunters is a comic book. The first 13 issues were published by Image, and it's currently being published by Heavy Metal. It's written by Steve Seeley and Mike Morici, with art by Chris DeBari. Basically, it's about a group that goes around investigating reports of cryptids.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. I haven't read it.
No, I haven't read it either. So I guess the story is that instead of just investigating, they actually go and find the hoaxes.
I'm assuming from
the
yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a good take on it.
I never heard of it. It's the first time I'm hearing.
Why does everybody come up with good ideas for comic books? I really want a good idea.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to look into that. Hoax Hunters.
Yeah, I'm
wow.
gonna check it out too.
Awesome.
And I guess we don't go around investigating reports of cryptids, but we do our kind of myth busting through our debunking.
Yeah,
I suppose.
You
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to because again, we come out every time and say, "Oh yeah, that was a sound. That was a sound. It's paranormal." And
Yeah. Where's the fun in fooling yourself? Like
Yeah.
I mean, we could just. How freaking fun would that be? To just pretend that every single thing that happens is paranormal, and live in that world. I mean, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't want to fool myself.
No,
It's more fun to know real things happen.
Exactly.
and-
When it's real,
Yeah.
that's when it's fun.
yeah.
When
yeah.
it's fake, it's not.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for the question on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yep.
What's the next one?
All right. Our last question is from John Armour in Hanover, Germany. His question is, if you could investigate any place or building in the world, where would it be and why?
Wow.
Vinny.
That's a good one.
Go Vinny.
Wow. Okay, I have a couple places, but one of the places I would love to go to investigate and also do urban exploring would be Greystone in St. I think it's a psychiatric hospital in New Jersey. They just closed it down about 12, 13 years ago.
Greystone?
Greystone. The only reason why, at first I've seen pictures of it, it's very creepy looking, but my parents actually used to bring people who had problems to that location. Funny story. My mother, they were in the ANVETs.
Mm-hmm.
They picked up a person who was having problems. And he was a little, I guess, out there. So they brought him to the hospital, this particular psychiatric location. And while my father was filling out the paperwork, my mother had to bring him into the psych ward. And as a joke, they decided to close the door on my mother when she brought this guy. And she said that it was creepy because people were just kind of shuffling along, and they were doing, and they wouldn't let her out.
Oh no!
Ha 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 ha!
Yeah, so now my mom's nuts. But yeah, it really scared the hell out of her. And, it was a joke between my father and one of the funny orderlies there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to go into that place. It would creep the hell out of me. I'd probably run out right away. But yeah, I'd probably like to go there. Greystone Psychiatric Hospital. Yeah.
Nice. Mike.
Me. Mine would be, it's not easy to get to, but the island of Corregidor in the Philippines.
Oh, okay, I thought it was somewhere like on Thor's planet or something.
Well, you go across the Rainbow Bridge.
Asgard. Take Asgard and take a left over at...
Slip Heimdall a 20, so I'll let you through.
And what's on this island?
It was... it's in Manila Bay.
Okay.
Manila being the capital of the Philippines. This island in Manila Bay, it's like 3 miles by 1 mile,
okay.
In size. Great location for defending, the port and the city. And it was the site of like huge battle in World War II. When the Japanese were trying to take the Philippines, and actually they did for a while.
Uh-huh.
But there's gigantic cannons on the island, and they're 305 millimeter shells. These things.
Wow.
Shoot. I mean, they're like, these cannons are like the size of buses. They're gigantic. Thousands of people died on the island as the Japanese were attacking, and the American Filipino forces were defending. Now it's like a historic monument.
Do people go out there?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was abandoned or anything. So it's almost like a museum, sort of like Fort Delaware kind of thing, or? Yes,
but it hasn't been rebuilt.
Oh wow!
They've left it as it was. At the end of World War II.
Uh-huh.
Now I've been there. I was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. You're a very worldly person.
Yeah. Well, I stopped there on my way back from 2017 when I saw Civil War yesterday. But yes, I was there.
That's why you're still dressed. Oh, okay.
I was there when I was around 14. My dad was in the Air Force, and we were stationed in the Philippines for a while. So we went out there, and it's incredible. It's lush, tropical, beautiful jungle, and the jungle has overtaken all of the military facility, and it's just as it was, like I said, back at the end of World War II, and I was a 14-year-old kid, so they're like, yeah, we're going to go out to this island. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll see snakes or something, History, yeah, whatever, I don't get it. But I got there, and it's like you set foot on the island, and you get this odd feeling of tranquility, reverence, and, spookiness, whatever. You can just feel it. And knowing that thousands of people died right there. You could be standing on a spot where someone died.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of, I wasn't into the whole paranormal thing at that time.
Yeah.
But I remember, walking around on my own, and I went by this kind of like a cement bunker, and a lot of the facility was underground.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just looking at this cement entryway, and there's all like rusty, metal gate in front of it, and just total blackness beyond. And I'm looking at like bullet holes in the cement.
Oof.
And I got this wave of something that came over me, like total dread. And 14 years old to feel something like that, man, I just got the chills, and I felt something. Maybe it was my imagination, or maybe it was me just connecting with the history of the site. And
well, were you aware that people had died on that island, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you were made aware of that when you were.
Oh
a
yeah.
kid. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So it may have been my preconceived notions of the place.
Once you saw the bullet holes in the wall,
it just really made it
went
real.
Through somebody and hit the wall in the back. Wow, that's pretty odd.
Yeah, and if I could investigate anywhere, it would be go back there and just.
Well, Mike, big surprise. We got tickets to go. Let's go, guys. Let's take your magical car and go.
Get on my aluminum foil helmet.
God.
And Natalie.
Yes, all right. Since I'm Natalie Jane, I get 2. I can't decide.
Well, let's sit back and let's listen to these stories.
It'll be quicker than Mike's. All right. So, no, I mean, there's a lot of places. I mean, I tried to nail it down. I thought, well, there's 2 that really stick out. The first one is the Hoia Baciu Forest in Romania, and the reason for that is because there have been several UFO sightings. People have had encounters with astral beings. There's accounts of time loss events, which I just find really fascinating. Disembodied voices, and I just consider that a party. I would really like to go there and check it out.
That's wild. I mean,
time loss, like people go in and then
they don't realize what time it is, or they just
hours later they don't realize that they've lost time.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean these are people's claims, but still there's been a lot of accounts, so I find that interesting. The other place is called the Lep Castle in Ireland, and one reason, the elemental. The elemental is supposedly a supernatural entity that exists in the castle.
Okay.
And there's a few theories of what it is and how it got there. And one of the theories is that it was actually put there by Druids before the castle was built to protect their sacred site where they practiced and had initiations, things like that.
Wow.
Another theory is that General Fitzgerald, Earl of Kildare, he was a magic practitioner. He had actually tried to take the castle over several times unsuccessfully, so he put it there.
What a loser!
And the other theory is that it's the spirit of one of the members of the O'Carroll family who once lived in the castle and died from leprosy, and that would explain that why when people see this, the elemental, its apparition, there's always a rotting smell and it has decomposing features. So that would be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Wow. And you want to go there?
Yes.
Well, we have a surprise.
Am I going to both places?
Well, we have a surprise. Mike?
I don't know how we're going to fit all this traveling in with all of the Carnival cruise lines that I've won recently.
Now, hold on a second now. I've won a couple too.
Oh, have you?
So, and I think we might be able to take over the boat and go. Wow, an elemental. Now, an elemental, is that a ghost, a spirit of somebody, or is it just like bad aura or something like that was just put together?
That's just the name that it was given.
Okay.
And it's supposedly, like I said, just a supernatural entity. I haven't read anything that anyone's experienced anything bad from it. Hasn't done anything.
Just that weird smell.
The weird smell, and that when they do see it, it's also referred to as it.
It.
When they do
No, that's
see
a clown from Stephen King.
Because no one refers to it as man, woman. There's like no gender assigned to it. It's just a entity. It's just a thing.
Wow.
When it appears, it has some, like I said, decomposing features, and there's a bad smell associated with it.
Wow.
Now, what do you do when you face something like that?
I could tell you.
After you
Would
change
you
your
say, "Do the man
pants,
run?"
then
Dude, run! grab Natalie Jane's arm and let's go. I'm not staying here.
Do a karate kick and run.
Oh, Andy! Wow. Well, I hope we answered your questions to your satisfaction, and if we didn't, oh well.
yeah.
We
Why do we
tried.
care?
We tried, but
Yeah.
keep sending in those questions. Anything about paranormal, comic books, whatever your interests.
Yeah.
We really would love to hear from you.
Yep.
Again, I think it's probably that time that we say adieu.
Yep, so we're breaking down.
Why do we do this to ourselves? I mean, really, why do we keep doing this to ourselves?
I don't know.
So yeah, we gotta end this show because we're about an hour into this show, and
Fun stuff, though.
yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. What can we make fun of Mike for now, and then you can make another.
Oh, here we go. Well, you mentioned 70s shows, so you already put me on the track.
Well, guys, we're going to be ending the show now, and listen, I just want to send this one out. We need you to check out Mike Wolfer's Daughter of the Dark Oracle. It's coming out in July, so keep your eyes open for that. Nice. It's going to be one hell of a comic.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Judging from Ragdoll, I think we have something really special to look forward to.
Far out, man.
Yeah,
and the lettering is spectacular.
And the girl poses rule.
I don't know what that means.
Guys, please have a look at our Facebook page, Facebook /HauntSquad.com, and our podcast Facebook page at Facebook /HauntSquadPodcast.com.
Time out. Go. Facebook.com/HauntSquad.
Wait, is that what
yes.
I'm reading here? I don't have my glasses on.
My glasses.
Where are my glasses?
I can't see a thing without
Just
my
search
glasses.
for Haunt Squad
So wait,
on the internet
it's
and we'll
Facebook.com.com and follow us on Twitter at Haunt Squad. Any questions? Just send us over correspondence through those means, and we'll get back to you. We'll throw you on the show. We'll say your name.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Ding, ding. Let's get out of here. Stay spooky.